The country is in the middle of a general election. This is a parliamentary election. The entire country will be choosing the next government that will govern us for the next 5 years. So we tried to do analysis of what the youth in the country is thinking, and this is a show that I did for Free Press Journal. I will be putting the link in the description. You can check it out. But I want to give away 5 takeaways from that discussion, which I had with a bunch of young people and also with 2 senior journalists. We tried to go around Bombay and get a few inputs on what the young people are thinking. We had students join from other cities like Jodhpur. We had someone joining from Dehradun. So we tried to cover a bit of the country. We couldn't cover entire length and breadth of the country, so to speak. But what I am here to tell our viewers is that the youth vote is crucial. There is no denying. It was, in fact, a game changer in the year 2014 when the Modi government first came to power. The young overwhelmingly voted for the BJP. Of course, that was the time that the Anna Hazare movement also drove a lot of that interest to cleanse the country of corruption. So that was one of the main reasons why the youth became very enthused about changing the ruling regime. This time, is there any such thing that the youth is enthused about? You can hear the discussion that I had with the young people. But like I said, the takeaways that I have from that discussion is this: social media is so powerful. So when you go around asking the youth, and when they give you their inputs, you will realize that bulk of it is coming from what's circulating on WhatsApp, what is being bombarded to them on their smartphones through reels and shorts and YouTube videos. A large part of it is what is shaping their public opinion. But yes, parental influence, what is being discussed in dinner table conversations, that is crucial. So, like they say, education begins at home. So, the influences at home of what the parents think or the grandparents think is going to have tremendous impact on the voting preference of the youth. Especially now, what is being done is that a lot of religious pride is being infused into the majority community, and that has affected the youth. They're prone anyway to get influenced with these sort of sentiments, and the current propaganda is such that baser instincts are being appealed to. Um, the fact that there's been a revival of our culture and heritage, and so that um, for that the current Prime Minister Narendra Modi becomes a messiah for the revival of our past glory, so to speak. That narrative is bought by the young people a lot, who also believe that India has been projected to the world as a force to reckon with, and India stands with pride with other global entities, and the Indian leaders, Indian Prime Minister stands shoulder to shoulder with the other top leaders. So those sort of images, those sort of optics are working very much in favor of the current ruling party, and is having a great impression, huge impression on the young minds from what I could gather. The second thing that I also wanted to say is that the young are not really driven by what is happening to their own lives, and this is surprising. They're not driven by the fact that employment opportunities are shrinking. I asked this question that upper middle class, or the ones who can afford, the upper class society, the children, the students want to exit the country. They want to all go abroad. That might be a very minuscule population that we are talking about, but they also will talk about you know national pride, and yet they would want to move out of the country as quickly as possible as soon as they finish their qualifying exams. The second thing I noticed is that they are not really bothered with what is going to happen to their future, whether the government policies are going to help them shape their future. Employment should have been a very big issue in determining voting preference, but it seems it's not. The fact that the GDP growth is cited by a couple of young people that I've spoken to, but the fact that there is no commensurate employment growth, the fact that this is a zero employment generating GDP growth, the whole dichotomy of it, the contradiction within, is not understood by the young lot, and there hasn't been an attempt made to explain it to them. So net what is happening is they are getting the overall idea of a GDP growth without realizing that this growth, unless it translates into viable employment opportunities for the young, is meaningless for them, at least in terms of building their careers. There is a clamor for those very limited seats in IIT and in the medical institutions, and children are committing suicides in coaching centers. There's a desperation to get in because that is when you qualify and you get the elusive six-figure salary. For middle class parents, what could be better than getting into an institute, a government run institute like that, from where you get placements, where your job is secured? So there is a whole lot of people young people who are aiming for that. The rest who don't believe they have the merit or the caliber to aspire for those institutions are left at the mercy of employment generation by the policies of the government, the industries that take in younger people. But these issues don't seem to have a very big impact. So what I'm trying to say is identity politics, communal politics, the fact that there is a cocktail of religious nationalism with the pride or the regional pride or the religious pride, all of that is being served to the young. They are taking it and they are getting intoxicated by that mix. And also, what is important here when we talk about the younger lot, when we look at them and when we think about what is influencing them, what is going to determine their voting preference, there are quite a few things that one must remember. That if you look at the social strata, there is a very clear indication that people who are aspirational, they believe that India is on the growth path. They believe that India is slowly making a mark, in terms of coming of age, in terms of arriving in the scene. But yes, there is a whole lot of them who are disillusioned. What are they disillusioned with? They are confused. There's a whole lot of them, and you'll hear it in the video as well, who say that we don't know which way to go. On one side, you have leaders who appear nepotistic. They are being painted as the ones who only resorted to minority appeasement. They never cared for the majority community. They are the dynasts, right? And the other side is projected as communal. They are seeking votes on the basis of religion. They are the bigots. So, and you don't stand in favor of one or the other. So where do you go if there are only these two options? There was the possibility of a third option, like say an Aam Aadmi Party who promised clean politics. But what happened? The champion of clean politics, a champion of the cause of anti-corruption, is in jail for corruption charges. So the youth there, if you look at it that way, are bound to be disillusioned. And there is a very large chunk of them who believe that this is a pointless exercise. It's an exercise in futility. Whoever we elect is not going to be good for us. But that's what I gleaned through when I heard the voices of the young people. I urge you to watch the video yourself and tell me what you think. Thanks for watching.